Ron, we've been wanting to have you on for a little bit just because I think you have such an interesting perspective as a trainer, also as a member of the HISA Horsemen's Advisory Committee. Now, you've been critical and supportive of HISA, I think, over the several years that it's been in effect. There was some big news last week where HISA released the fatalities data for 2024, which showed that we had, I don't want to say only, because anything above zero, we can improve on, but 0.9 racing fatalities per 1,000 starts. That's huge progress from where we were when the first Equine Injury Database numbers came out, which was 2.00. That equates to hundreds of more horses returning home to their barns safely after each race. As someone who's on the inside and who's seeing not only on the backstretch but in the discussions the kind of reforms that are being made, how much of this can you attribute to the increased reform and oversight that we have for HISA? How much of it is just trainers and veterinarians getting better? What do you attribute these improved numbers to?
Well, I think that anytime somebody's coming to your house, you try to clean it up a little bit. And, I'm also, one of the things you did mention is I'm also on the HPBA, and I have been for a long time. So whenever I sit in either meeting, I'm there, kind of in a position of making sure at the end of the day, we can all have opinions, but we need to get it right. We need to get it right for the animal. We need to get it right for the sport. And some of the stuff that HISA does is wonderful. And it needs to continue. And some of the stuff that they do is overreaching, and we could have a better impact putting that energy somewhere else. So my job is kind of to look at everything and offer from a horseman's perspective and not just a regulator's perspective. And I'd like to give Lisa and the crew credit for listening. A lot of the things that, one of the things that I told myself is I was going to give it a little bit. If I felt like I was making an impact that was good for racing and for horses, then I would keep doing it. If I was just a poster boy and they weren't going to listen to what I said, and then I'm out. And that's the same thing that would happen with the HPBA. If I felt like I was just getting tongue service and not getting to have an impact, I would leave. Mm-hmm. Having said that, one of the things that I want to make sure we continue to understand is there are things that we can do in our industry that a lot of people know that just has to happen eventually. There's some things that we've already done, and I'm proud of everyone in the community, not just HISA. Everyone is working together to try to focus on the common goal of doing right by horses. And we're seeing an impact. It doesn't mean we're counting the tracks that are running that's not in HISA that may or may not, if you put them in there, may or may not lift the numbers up again. So I want to get it right. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, I want everybody to get in a room and keep improving. We can celebrate what's happening right now, but we need to understand there's still a lot of work to do. And I think there's an appetite to do it on all sides. I think the horsemen want to do better. Now we need to start getting some help from owners, racetracks, and that sort of stuff. HISA started off with every bit of energy was the closest to the horse. That's the trainers.
Right.
And now we need to look at some other areas that we can do that'll have a great big effect on how trainers do their job and the amount of pressure that's placed on these animals from outside interest. So there's a lot of area to improve, and I'm proud of what's happening, but we got to keep rolling.